What's up? This is Release Rotation. I'm your host, John W. Snyder. I don't even know where to begin with this week. If you know me, I am from Oklahoma, or if you've been listening to the podcast, I went to Oklahoma State. I graduated from Oklahoma State University. When I was at Oklahoma State, we had a guy named Bob Simmons as head coach, and then he got fired, and a guy named Les Miles took over for him. So I was there from 1998 to 2003. So I was really there 5.5 years. I like to say that I crammed 4 years of college into 5.5 years. It happens to the best of us. You sometimes can't graduate on time. It happens. No, I don't have a master's or a doctorate or anything. I have a bachelor's degree that took me 5.5 years. Sue me. But don't actually for that or anything. Anyways. Oklahoma State. Big week for Oklahoma State this week. I can't believe they fired Mike Gundy. The best football coach Oklahoma State has ever had, by far. Mike Gundy turned no other way to say it, but a crappy football program into a team that competed a lot of the years he was there, competed for a conference championship, won some, and the last 2 seasons have been horrendous and awful for some reason. And everyone wants to blame NIL. Like, get over that. There's teams who have way less money and less facilities than what Oklahoma State has and are paying players way less. Get over the NIL thing. Maybe that's an unpopular take, but Oklahoma State does not suck at football because of NIL. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Maybe not the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I've heard a lot of dumb things. I've said a lot of dumber things. But that's ridiculous. Preposterous, some would say. I mean, Mike Gundy, what he did for that Oklahoma State program, unmatched. 20 years, whatever it was. I think right at 20, right? Incredible what he did for Oklahoma State. The only thing people should be saying about Mike Gundy and things they should be saying to him are thank you. Thank you for what you did to Oklahoma State football. Thank you for the time and the loyalty and the dedication you put in to Oklahoma State football. Because Oklahoma State football, even though we've lost 11 straight games to FBS teams, or FBC, whatever it's called now, the top teams, Division I is what it used to be. I can't keep track. 11 straight. 9 last year. We went 3-9 last year. And then this year we are 1-2 with the worst loss ever in Oklahoma State history, football history in over 100 years, to Oregon. And then the icing on the cake was losing to Tulsa at home on Friday night. And so there's no easy way to fire anybody. Everyone's like, oh, you could have waited to the end of the season or done this or that. There's no easy way. It's not easy. It's not an easy decision for the athletic department and for the AD to fire a guy who's put in, I don't know how many years, counting the time he played there in the 80s and the time he was an assistant coach. It's 30 years of his life, and he's not even 60, so more than half of his life has been around Oklahoma State football. So thank you, Mike Gundy, for what you've done for Oklahoma State football. Thank you for putting Oklahoma State football in the position they are in, even though the last 2 seasons have been really bad. Oklahoma State football is still in a position to win. Mike Gundy did that. Mike Gundy put Oklahoma State in this position, in the position to get great players, a great facility, all of that. So I know it's the middle of the season. I know that players are going to leave. I know that players are going to decommit who've already committed to Oklahoma State. That's part of it. It doesn't matter. And they can always recommit. So they probably, these players who are decommitting, want to see who Oklahoma State hires, which don't blame them. So you probably came here to play under Mike Gundy because he's been here 20 years. And I say that like, you shouldn't really go to a school to play under a coach, but you also should, especially a guy who's been there so long. You're not expecting him to leave. But Oklahoma State has just been so bad for the last year and 3 games. So it had to be done. I think something needed to change. I don't know what it is. I don't know what needs to happen. I don't know what these players are going to do the rest of the season. Doug Meacham, who was offensive coordinator, who also played with Gundy at Oklahoma State and has coached at Oklahoma State, is now the interim head coach for the remainder of the season. I'm hoping these guys rally around him and just say, you know what? We are going to play our hardest for you. We are going to play just as hard as we can and do the best we can for you. Because you're also in a tough position to be the interim head coach after a head coach gets fired. So, wild week in Stillwater. I have high hopes. I think that Oklahoma State will make a great hire. I have names that I want it to be and names I don't want it to be, but it doesn't obviously matter to me. I mean, it matters to me. It's not up to me. I'm looking forward to see who they hire. I hope they hire a young guy and a guy that gets kids to play for him. And there's some of those guys out there. And I know that, you want an alum maybe, but I'm over that. I don't care who it is. Like, make the best hire. I don't care if the person played at Oklahoma State. And I know there's names out there of guys who played at Oklahoma State, like Zach Robinson, who was an amazing quarterback at Oklahoma State. And he's been a great coordinator, offensive coordinator, and other coaches in the NFL. He's never had a head coaching job. He has the Oklahoma State ties. He could do it. Do I want him to do it? I don't know. I don't know the ideal situation to hire a guy who's never coached before, who's never been a head coach. So that's tough for me to get behind that. There's other guys out there, though, who Oklahoma State can go after. And I also say that, like, obviously they got to pay Mike Gundy $15 million for his buyout. So that's a lot of money. And then you got to come up with money from donors and wherever else to pay the new coach. So we will see what happens. It's going to be interesting, and we've still got a lot of football left. So I don't know how the season's going to turn out. I don't know how it's going to end up for Oklahoma State. I just don't know, but wild week in Stillwater. And, I mean, in all of college football, too. I mean, he's a name that if you follow college football, you know Mike Gundy. You know some of his quotes, like, I'm a man, I'm 40. Come after me. That was 15 years ago or whatever. And so he's been around. People know him. Is he going to go into television? He'd be great on television, by the way. He would be a great football mind to have on TV, and just, he's entertaining. And that's what you need on TV nowadays. So I think that would be great for Gundy. The other thing, too, is he could coach again. I mean, he could go be an offensive coordinator. I mean, that's a step down, but maybe that's what he wants to do. He could be a head coach again. It could happen. So that could be wild to see him coaching somewhere else after he's been at Oklahoma State for so long. But just, man, what a shock. But I think the writing was on the wall. I think we kind of knew this was going to happen. I honestly thought he'd finish out the season. And so obviously that didn't happen. So super interesting to times in Stillwater. And the other thing, too, on that day, I mean, that overshadowed other stuff in Oklahoma. John Mateer, quarterback for the Oklahoma Sooners, Heisman hopeful. I think those hopes are dashed. I don't think he has a chance to win the Heisman. He broke a bone in his thumb and has to have surgery. I think it was his thumb, hand, wrist, thumb. I think it was his thumb. But has to have surgery and will be out a minimum of 3 weeks. So we'll see. The doctor apparently that's doing it is from Oklahoma, and he's known for this stuff. He's performed surgeries on professional athletes on the hand. And I don't know who it was. I saw there was a quarterback. It might have been Goff, Jared Goff. Somebody this surgeon kind of performed a surgery on. This player had a similar break, and he was back in like 10 days or 2 weeks, something like that, which, as a pro, you're going to come back maybe because you're already in the pros, you're already in the NFL. As far as Mateer goes, he probably wants that thumb to heal because of the potential for him in the NFL. So that's wild. But so now they got Hawkins, their backup, who played a little last year, is now going to come in and start the next few weeks. So they're saying Mateer could be back by Texas. Ideally, that's what you want. BU Texas, that's such a big rivalry. You would love to have Mateer back for that game. But that's all I'm going to say about that because it's OU, and I don't really care about OU that much. Just a little bit. But, mainly it's about the Oklahoma State Cowboy football program right now and the players. I hope that the guys that are on the team, I hope they finish it out. I hope they finish the season strong. I hope they don't bail on the program. Everyone's put in a tough position. I get it. The players, the other coaches who are still there. And so that's it. That's what I got for sports. I just haven't said anything. I know it happened a few days ago. 2 days ago, I guess. 2 days, was it yesterday? My days are all mixed up. A lot of stuff's been going on. I guess it happened Tuesday. But just those are my thoughts. And I'm an Oklahoma State alum. I am loyal to Oklahoma State. So obviously I want it to be a great hire. I trust the athletic department to make a great hire. And I'm hopeful for a few wins this season because that's what Oklahoma State needs right now is a win. And before Gundy got fired, going into this week against Baylor, they were 20-point underdogs. And I don't even know what the line is now. It's got to be worse. It's got to be like 25. But Oklahoma State just needs a win. They need a win this year, which is rough to say just this year. There's like 8 games left. We haven't even gotten into Big 12 play. So, oh man, a lot to go, a lot left to play. But I just hope Oklahoma State can string some wins together somehow, some way, and let this be a great season for Doug Meacham and my voice cracked really good there. And the Oklahoma State Cowboys. I think back to like Gundy wasn't there when I was there. I spent seasons with 2 coaches. And mainly it was Bob Simmons the majority of the time, and we were awful. Like maybe win 5 games, maybe win 4 games. So I'm used to this. And I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Like Les Miles turned that program around. He started turning it around, and then Gundy came in and fully just flipped it. So I know there's light at the end of the tunnel, and that's the other thing I want to tell fans and students that are at Oklahoma State. And I'm older now, obviously, but like there's kids at Oklahoma State now who don't even know the name Bob Simmons. Like Bob Simmons he was already gone when some of these kids were born and these players were born. So there are bleak times and they will turn around. It will get better. Like I said, Oklahoma State is in a good position. Mike Gundy has put Oklahoma State in a very, very good position going forward. I believe that. And so there is light at the end of the tunnel for this program. And I can't wait to see what happens. And it might take a year or two. That's what happened with OU. After Lincoln Riley left, I hired Venables, and they had a rough season or two. Things turned around. Now look at OU. They're in the top 10. So, and I know that OU is a different program than OSU. I'm not comparing them in that way. Trust me, believe me, I know. I've firsthand experience know that Oklahoma football is a different beast than Oklahoma State football. I get that. But it is doable for Oklahoma State. So it's Thursday. Have a great day. I'm going to try to get back in here tomorrow, record some stuff, but wanted to leave you with my thoughts about Oklahoma State football and where I think the program is and where it's heading. See ya.